Good morning and welcome to IMBRSea, I should say, I think, with special conditions that we have to welcome the students via this kind of a webinar, but I think it's also an ideal opportunity and we should use the opportunity to really welcome you to our master program. So wherever you are in the world, and I see in the chat that there is quite different languages popping up, so it's great to see that we have many people online that are following this webinar. Right now, just to give you some information, there's about 26 people that are watching this first webinar. Just for your information, this webinar will be repeated at 4 p.m. This afternoon, just to make sure that everybody, independently from where they are in the world, also because some people are sleeping right now probably, that they also have the opportunity to follow this live session. We will give the same information in both sessions, so don't worry. And also on our YouTube channel, these kind of webinars are also publicly available afterwards. So, and I think when you were scrolling through the YouTube channel, maybe the past days, you have probably seen that there is quite a lot of videos also related to the last weeks, because for us, communication is a very important element, and communicating to our students is really a critical point for us. So how do we build up this webinar? Actually, we would like to start with a small presentation in which we will explain you a few things. The whole idea is that afterwards then, you can actually ask questions through the chat box, and I noticed that there is already a lot of people that are using the chat box, so that will be the opportunity to post your general questions right now, because that's the idea. If you post questions there, we know that every situation is quite personal and sometimes very complex, but really the questions that we post here should be the ones that are actually also of use for the whole community. A second element is that in the coming weeks we actually think that there will be still more of these webinars, because we think related to the what is happening in the COVID-19 situations all over the world, I think it will be important to keep you updated so you can prepare yourself in the best potential way for the start of the semester. Good. Let me start with a small presentation, and in that presentation we actually plan to give you quite some substantial new information also that might be useful for you. Good. So IMBRSea, what is the content of this presentation? First of all, the welcome. Then we would like you to give a state of art. How many students are you in this program? Something on the mobility in IMBRSea, and then also something on the semester 1 options, and some small comments on the next steps in the program. Good. Who is who? Maybe in the context of the welcome also, because many of you have been in contact through email or through phone already with our coordination office, but I think it's good to briefly introduce who we are. So at the coordination office working on IMBRSea, there's myself, so I'm Tim Dupree, I'm the coordinator of this program, and I have a PhD in marine sciences, and since about 10 years actually that I'm involved in coordinating this kind of joint master degrees. Then we have two other people. We have Louisa Campos and Micheline de May, who are also both taking up tasks related to the coordination of the master program. And in practice, often you will receive, actually, if you send an email to the info@imbrsea.eu email address, it's one of the three of us, but mostly from Louisa and Micheline, that you get actually an answer, or we try to give you an answer in the best potential way. If you want to reach out to the individual universities, that's possible as well. And if you just go to the website, you will see that every website has under the section, the home section, for example, under IMBRSea, you will actually see the drop down of all the partners. And if you click on a partner, you will immediately find, okay, who is the local coordinator, including also their direct contact addresses. Be careful, although I would say, because it could be that if you post a question, for example, and you do not clearly indicate that you're a new IMBRSea student, for example, that especially in these days, for example, that your question might end up somewhere in a pile of emails because there is lots of answer questions coming in. So the advice mostly still is right now in this state of the program that you rather first contact us in the coordination, and in case needed, we will really redirect you, and that's what we often do. We actually forward the questions then to the local coordinators to see whether they have more information on specific cases or specific questions you have that they should answer. Yeah. Good. I think an important element to make you aware of is the fact that we are a joint program organized by a whole range of universities. And so Ghent University is the coordinating one, but beside that, there is many more. And I think for many of you, this has also been the reason why you have joined IMBRSea. And in this context, I think we give now kind of a small talk here via a webinar, but it's important to see that this talk is just framed around the whole partnership where you will get in touch with in the coming years. Yeah. Now, how many are you and who are you? Maybe not that important. So right now we have 66 students, and that was the status last night. And this morning I was happy to hear there's actually already 2 more. So the statistics are a bit outdated. They're one night outdated, but I'm planning for the afternoon update, for example, just to make sure that these figures are updated. So there will be small difference between the morning session and the afternoon session, in the sense that these numbers will have been updated. So 66 students have paid and are confirmed. And in total, now we have 25 nationalities that are in the cohort that is starting next September. Keep also in mind that European students are still eligible to apply to this master program. And European students by the end of May, so in 2 weeks' time, they have actually to close their applications. As it looks now, we have the feeling that there might be another 10 to 15 EU students that joined this group. So I think despite the whole situation that is going on now in the world, it's a clear indication also that students still have interest in this master program. Gender balance is okay, I would say. So we have for the moment 50 females and 16 males. Not that this does have a big impact on the functioning of the program, totally not. But I think it's not unimportant to show, for example, that also in sciences, there is master programs where there is a balance, in the sense that things are well balanced, or females have opportunities right here. So the top countries, if you just look on the list here on the side, is that, so from Spain we have 10 students, Belgium 8, Italy 8 again, France 7, Germany 6, and then the first non-EU country is the United States, followed by India. Quite a diverse group of students that will start, but that I think that's a healthy situation. Now, I think we get to the most important thing of this webinar, is the organization of the first semester, because we get many questions, and that's understandable. So in a normal situation, the case would be that we have 6 universities where you could choose from to actually do your first semester. And everybody at the application process has indicated, okay, that's my wish, and then where I want to go to, and what we did then. So the selection team evaluated all the applications, they ranked them, and then based on your rank, you were actually assigned your first or your second option that you have indicated. The majority of you, because you applied in the earlier stages, have got their first option. Now, situations have changed drastically in the past months, and that's also why in the past weeks, we have had really intense discussions with our board, and we came to the decision to add even a 7th option for you. A 7th option which will be a full an option where you can decide to take your first semester fully online. So that means that we will replace, so if you say, okay, I'm not able, for example, to travel to Europe, or this causes too much stress also in terms of getting visa, for example, yeah, then we have decided for all these students, for example, to develop a full online alternative. Yeah? And what I would like to do is just comment a bit on that full online alternative, so you have some clear information on what we exactly mean by this. So what is it? So it's a full online version of all the semester 1 courses in the format of SPOCs. Yeah, SPOCs, what are they? That's the so-called small private online courses. So some of you might have followed MOOCs already in the past. So MOOCs are the idea there is that they are massive, yeah, and they in many cases, yeah, you follow them on a very individual basis, so on your individual speed, etc. While here, what we will do and what we're doing actually right now is developing courses that are tailored, online courses that are tailored for relatively small groups of students, where that includes also, for example, teamwork, where you work together, and that you really feel that you're engaged, because there is also, for example, live feedback sessions also planned in that. Yeah. On top of the online courses, yeah, we also want to set up and will set up also an IMBRSea community space that will be shared between students that are following the semester through online courses and the students that potentially have the opportunity to physically attend courses at one of the places where we organize the semester. Yeah. So important, I think, is that the online versions, yeah, have exactly the same content and the same learning outcomes, but of course the methodology will be rather different. Yeah, the methodology will be rather different in the sense that, yeah, it's done online. Yeah, but I think for our first semester, which is mainly a semester where we provide knowledge in order to be able to go then to the more applied speciality modules that we have from semester 2 onwards. There it's important to understand that it's possible to translate them into online courses, while from a second semester onwards this is much harder to really achieve this. Yeah. So when will it be organized? Yeah, we plan to start this. We don't have an exact date yet, because that's the specificities that we're actually finalizing in the coming weeks. As we plan to start this somewhere end of September 2020, and these courses will all finish in December 2020. Yeah, so that means we do not foresee that there will be, for example, exams also in January on these courses. They will work through much more via permanent evaluation. But that also allows for students, so that things are finished in December, that in case, so that they travel then to Europe afterwards, or to the country where they have to go, in case there would still be a reason that you have to take a small quarantine period, for example, that gives you the space and the time to accommodate for that. For who is this semester? This online version, so that will be for all students who cannot attend the regular physical program for formal or personal reasons. Yeah. So it's not that we will say you have to show proof that you're banned from travel, for example. We really leave that to you. Really leave that to you to make a decision on which type of first semester you really wish to take. Yeah. To continue on that, why do we do this? Yeah? I think many students in the IMBRSea program may be limited in following the regular classes on site from September onwards. And what we see in Europe, that there's more and more countries that are taking already half-way decisions on, it's possible, for example, for students from neighboring countries to come to our country, or it's possible for students from the Schengen zone, for example, to be present in September. And what we expect is that actually during the autumn, this whole framework will be enlarged. So potentially in September, traveling from outside Schengen might be still limited, but that's really in a case-by-case situation we should look at, while we think that during the autumn and that this will be opened up. So by the end of the year, that travel will, with specific, of course, safety regulations to keep in mind, will become possible again. No, because for you it's very hard. We cannot say, okay, we wait to start the semester until everybody has arrived, because that might be, for example, that students that are right now, say something in Latin America, that those students may, for example, only be able to travel to Europe from October onwards. So for those students also, we actually want to make something available, with a good quality, that you can actually follow the classes of the first semester and be part of this program. Another element is that we have different nationalities, a lot of nationalities. That means also that people are in different time zones, and that by just streaming lectures, for example, you get immediately to the problem of that it's simply impossible also to make sure that you have kind of an active community that is following the classes online. Now, what many universities in Europe are kind of tending towards is that they create kind of mixed formats, mostly developed for local students, in the sense that what they plan for is, for example, lectures are provided by provided by streaming, and then you have some exercises, and maybe in small teams you will be allowed to do also practicals. But there's none of the universities that can give right now a clear view on what it will exactly look like. And when we discussed this with our board, the IMBRSea program board, in which there are also students represented that have a very strong voice, I must say, actually we discussed with the program that we want to go one step further and provide a high quality online alternative, and not just kind of a mixed format where you probably will only know how it looks like somewhere in August, September, when certain decisions are taken. So, and we just looked around a bit, and I think so far we can state that IMBRSea will actually offer a unique opportunity in this sense, that because there's not so many universities that actually will offer this full online alternative, at least for one semester. So how will we do this? So we will set up a dedicated online environment for the program, through which all the courses will run. And this summer we're setting up this right now actually, is a task force of up to 30 people that will come up this summer on translating the regular courses into online versions. And online versions, we're not talking, and I just have to make this really clear, we're not talking just of recordings of 1 hour lectures and then some assignments that you have to do on a personal basis. So that's totally not the point. So we are really talking about online courses with maybe some small movies, with personal work, with presentations, with even flipped classroom principles where you teach each other with teamwork involved. So it should be a challenging alternative that offers you similar approaches in a fully international way. Good. That as an introduction to that. And in the coming weeks, we are going also this week to announce this live on our social media and other communication channels, because also I think it's important that we let the world know that IMBRSea is preparing for such a kind of an online version. It's a big effort, and I think you understand this for people that know a bit how online courses can look like, for example. This is not something you just design in an afternoon. This is really, if you think about 30 people for the whole summer that work on this, it will be quite a thing. Now, what we would like you to do is indicate to us already, it's not a decision, but by the 20th of May, it would be good for us to get kind of a first indicator, whether you have interest in following this online semester, or whether you would for sure go for the normal semester one, And so what we've done, if you go to your student page, if you go to the website and you go to the sections to the students intranet, you will see that there is a point where you have a student page. If you log in there, and that's with your login details of your original application, you will be able to see a form where semester 1 confirmation, you will be able just to select normal semester or the online semester. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that we ask you to do by somewhere the 20th of May, because that would help us also to kind of estimate if we design teamworks also in the online course, that, okay, are we talking about 10 teams of 3 people, or are we talking about for certain assignments of 5 or 20 teams, just to make sure that we can a bit have a view on how much interest there would be for this option. So what about the other elements? Because the non-online semester ones, what we asked there in the last board meeting of the program is that we asked all the universities to gather scenarios on how the semester would look like. Yeah? So if you would go to, for example, if you would decide, really, I want to go to the University of the Algarve and follow in September the courses there, I think it's important for you that you know what you can expect. So what we ask them to do is to make 3 scenarios. The first scenario will be, okay, everything is back to normal. Yeah, that's an easy scenario because that's how the courses are looking like now. But also, we want to have a scenario, for example, where there's still measures that are impacting actually the courses on site. So that might be, but at least that they at that time that you're informed whether, for example, the practicals are available. For example, how are these organized? Will be there just streaming lectures? I say just, but it's so that's the kind of thing. So what we're doing, we're collecting these scenarios now, because for universities, they're right now, most of the universities are right now in the decision process on how will we organize our next semester. So, and we will inform you on the website, but also through email, and then as I mentioned before, also we want to organize from time to time also a webinar, so we can answer questions and we can give you the best potential update on what is happening. Yeah. Now, semester 2, there we actually expect and that everything should be back to normal again, with or without a quarantine period of 1 week, 2 weeks, depending on the country where you're traveling to. Also for semester 2, it's the case that the mobilities are much more spread, so we will face smaller groups of students, which ensures that from a safety point of view, for example, we can guarantee much easier certain things. Yeah. Then the professional practice, which is organized towards the end of the semester, there we just want to inform you on that. We have a normal version, and still some students right now are doing the normal version, but we also developed in the past weeks a remote version, which is team-based, and there is about 30 students currently that are taking this remote team-based version of the professional practice, and this goes also well. So just why do I tell this is just to inform you that the program has designed a number of alternative solutions in the past weeks, and that these solutions are not just for once that we organize them, but they can also easily be repeated in case this would be needed. Yeah. So so if you see, for example, the mobility, just going quickly over it again. So the major change here is that there is an extra option here, online. Yeah. Then also for the rest, the semester looks the same. So after Christmas, you will be able to follow some thematic modules in one of the semesters you have selected. After that, you do your professional practice. That's somewhere between Easter and the end of June. And then we close the year with an annual symposium where both students from year 1 and year 2 are brought together. Yeah. Semester 2 modules, I think you know them from the website, so I will not put too much attention to it because that's quite far in the process still. Then year 2 starts with the summer school, which is organized in our partner in Göteborg. It's a new partner in the current version of the program, followed again by a thematic module. And during that semester, we also offer an online course again. That's not new and not because this is related to the COVID-19 situation, but it's a course that was developed already some years ago. So this also shows that we have also experience in development of these courses, which are taken from different places, and Also within these courses, for example, teamwork is also a critical element of it. So people are forced, have the opportunity to work together in that sense. Yeah, and then you close your second year with a thesis research, and then which you present at an annual symposium. Maybe a small comment on that. So this year the annual symposium cannot take place physically because we were not allowed. So in the first week of July and the last week of August, the presentations of the current students, the thesis presentation, but also the professional practice work that they have been doing will be presented during an online event. And of course you will also be invited to follow these presentations because it will give you a good sense of what master thesis research work is actually looking like. But also, I think maybe you've noticed already on our YouTube channel, you also have access to the different recordings of thesis presentations. Yeah. So the semester 3 modules, here they are again. Quite an important element here is that you're the first group of students that have access also to a new specialty. A unique specialty in Europe that has a lot of, political attention in the sense that ocean literacy, especially in the ocean decade, the UN ocean decade, which has been declared from 2021 to 2030. Yeah, ocean literacy and education and communication is a very important element. And so far, we are the only program actually that has also a module which allows students to focus on that. With this, I don't want to say that the other modules are not important. Yeah. So also the diversity of things you see there shows that we have actually also direct connections with the labor market. And I think that's one of the most important elements, that after you graduate, you have also opportunities in terms of getting work. Yeah. Now, some practicalities. You received or you did not receive. Some students, because they were the latest one that paid, for example, they did not receive yet. But most of you already received last week their IMBRSea account. So then on the email that you used to apply to the program, you should have received an email related to a G Suite account that was activated for you. So your email addresses are firstname.lastname@imbrsea.eu. And normally this email contains the information on how to activate this account. Yeah? It's a very important account because it's an email account that you get from now till we plan to keep this open even 5 years after you graduate the program. Yeah? So that means that it's an email account with some longevity, and also afterwards it allows you to stay in touch with the alumni of the program and the people, your schoolmates, for example, that have graduated as well. There's an email account connected to it, but more important, there's also, for example, a Google Drive connected to it with lots of space on, so it's you can use it as the place to store all your study files. There's a Google Meet system. It's a video system, like a video chat system, where once you're logged in, you can, in an easy way, do video chats with up to 20, 30, 40. We did test even up to 100 people live at the same time. So that's also in the framework of some online events, online courses, for example. That's quite an important element to keep in mind. And then we have, for example, also calendars that we're using. So it's kind of an account that is activated for you throughout the program. You will also receive, if you go, for example, to Ghent University or you go to the University of Oviedo, you will also receive you also receive a local email address while you're there in a local account. But it's important, that's mostly only for the period that you're actually present at a certain university, while this email account is one that is valid throughout the program. Yeah. So please, if you receive this activation email, activate your email address and start using it, because in a few weeks' time, what we will do, your main contact email address will become this one. Yeah. Instead of the email address you applied with through the application form, but we will inform you when we do this transversion to this email address. Yeah. Now, how do you contact us? It's quite easy. The main opportunity to contact us is through the info@imbrsea.eu email address. And I just want to make clear, don't expect that you get an answer on your emails, let's say in the first hours, or sometimes it takes more than 1 or several days even, because we often have to look, especially with the questions that are coming in now, where we have to check with partners what is the situation. We actually have to try to find out how things are organized. So this might take some days, but don't worry, we still have the goal to answer everything that comes in. In addition, we also plan, as I mentioned, to do this kind of webinars from time to time. So that's also an opportunity potentially ask questions or to make some things clearer. Yeah. There's different social media channels as well that are available to you. So there's Facebook groups which you can subscribe to. So all these things as well that to communicate. So we use different media to communicate to you. Okay, good. I want to leave it here in terms of presentation and switch to maybe a first questions and answers session with all of you, because that might be the thing that you might have questions and that clarification that you need. So feel free to post them through the chat, and then we will try to give the best potential answers to you. Yeah. So who dares to ask the first question? The first question from Bianca. I'd like to know if the Diploma Supplement document can be considered as a valid alternative for the legalized copy of the diploma and transcripts. Yeah. Bianca, indeed, this is a good question and an important question, and right now we cannot give you a full correct answer on this, because simply tomorrow afternoon, we're having a session with all the international programs that are organized through Ghent University, because that's the university where you have to submit these documents, and where they will finally, because we'll be asking for this already for several weeks. They will come up with a clear guidelines on what we should provide to you. After that meeting, which is organized on tomorrow afternoon, so Thursday morning, we plan to send out a clarification email to all the applicants, where we actually, based on the information that we received there, that we can give you an update. What we asked for is to have flexible solutions right now, because we really understand that it's really hard to get to the the documents as you mentioned. Kanika, if we decide on following the online first semester, do we still have a deadline to send certified apostille copies of documents by post? Again, but this answer is, there's twofold, there's two different sections to this answer, I think. First section is that it's not because you follow the online semester that you will not have to send these documents to us. I think that's a clear, important element. However, if you can show that there is delays on sending things, and also right now we have to really be careful on sending certain things, important documents by post, for example. So then I would say, okay, there will potentially be a delay that will be decided tomorrow during that meeting as well. But again, we will inform you on this as well. Okay, what is the potential deadline? And how you should do in the best potential way. You know, and maybe you've seen in your email that you received that. So if you go to the student pages, there is a form there where you can upload at least digital copies already from the documents that you're obtaining. And maybe that's a first step for everybody, that you at least upload good quality scans of the documents that you have received. And at least if we have those documents, we hope that our administrations will be able to process the different things. Now, keep in mind, why do we do these? Why do we need these things? Yeah, it's just to make sure by the time you graduate. Yeah, by the time you graduate, so in 2 years' time, you can actually get a valid diploma, because the university wants to check that your previous diploma has certain standards as well and is indeed a correct diploma. So we had in the past also different cases where there's delays on that, and I think especially in this situation that it's quite logical that there can be delays. Yeah, but again on this also after Wednesday, I think, and we will post these questions that we get here on this also to the administration. Yeah. A question from Eva. I plan to go to Spain for the first semester from France. When will we know if we're authorized, if they authorize former students to enter the country? Otherwise, I can't know what to choose on the 20th of May. Yeah, Eva, 20th of May is not a deadline as such that it's a binding decision. It's just an indicative feeling that we want to get. No, the decision to go from one country to another country, honestly, we don't know neither. Yeah, when this will be taken and for each different situation, because it will depend on the countries, and that's I think what you've seen also in the news in the past weeks, is that there is no European approach to this, and that things are decided by different countries, and also they look at different countries. For example, just a small example, we got the authorization, for example, last week, that students that are in neighboring countries of Belgium, yeah, that they're allowed for study-related activities to go back to Belgium. Yeah, but just to show you and to illustrate you the specificity of some of the decisions that are taken. So an important element, Eva, in this sense is that you just give us an indication. So if you decide no already, yes, I really want to go for the online version, yeah, you can indicate this to us, yeah, and in the later stage when situations change, yeah, it will be up to September that you will have the opportunity to still switch to the online semester in case needed. Yeah. Noemi, I'm working on my thesis right now and it will be done on time, but I'm worried about the submission deadlines. Will you move them or allow late submissions of the diploma? Noemi, we already posted this kind of questions also in this kind of situation, because you're not the only one that is in this specific situation to our administrations. And I think as a program we can now already confirm that yes, yeah, we will allow for these kind of late submissions of diplomas. Yeah. Also cases where you're still working on the thesis, where information is simply not available yet. Yeah, this will also be allowed. In this context, an important element will be is that you provide us with a proof from your university, if you're still studying, for example, you're still working on your thesis, that they kind of testify that you're indeed working on your thesis, yeah, and that there is good chances that you will indeed submit by, or that you will finalize everything and everything will be available by a certain date that you specify clearly. That allows us to see that you're not just making up a story, which we don't assume, but we have many students, yeah, and we have to show to our authorities what the specific situation is. Yeah. We have another question from Bianca. I have one or more questions. There is deadline for us to upload our up-to-date documents. I will obtain my diploma next week and my transcript is not updated now. Thank you. Again, Bianca, tomorrow we have the session on the documents, so with the registration office at Ghent University as well, and on Thursday we will try to provide you clear dates and deadlines and procedures on how this actually all goes. So, but I think a main element to keep in mind is that we fully understand that things are a bit tricky right now for every one of you, and that as a program we actually want to accommodate for that. You went through a selection process where the jury looked at your different things and you were selected to the program, so that means that what you uploaded, what you showed was already for the selection committee at least, showed that we have good confidence and that you're able to take our program, so don't worry too much on that. Yeah. Paul, hi. To which addresses should I send my legalized hard copies, and when is the deadline set? Thanks for your answer and time. Again, to be honest, right now, and I think the question of Paul is quite a relevant one, is right now we simply are not allowed to go to the office. Yeah, so we are not physically at the office, and the post is all going to a central point at Ghent University, and that's one of the questions that is also on the agenda for the discussion of tomorrow, is the fact that what to do with post and with paper documents. So right now, still wait, I would say, to send things. If things are sent already by different people, don't worry, because there is they certified us that everything is collected at a central place, and they're sorting out all this post. So it's not that it's getting lost, don't worry on that. But if you still have to send, maybe wait until we have the more details next Thursday morning, yeah, and that we can give you an update on that. Yeah. Jordana, if we are not allowed to travel in September and we still want to do the physical classes, can we defer for a year? Will we have to reapply? Yeah. To be honest, we know that some students have this in mind, yeah, and we allowed also in the past, if you had strong reasons, and I think this is a kind of a strong reason, that there is indeed a possibility to defer your year to the year after. However, keep also in mind that even for the year after, right now we don't have a full clue on how the year after will look. So keep that also in mind, that there's no certainty that things will be better or worse in that occasion. But it's indeed the case that we will ask you to reapply, but it's kind of rather, it's not that you have to go to the selection process again, yeah, but you will be able to confirm that your application, because it might be, for example, that we ask for additional elements, or that you have an updated CV by then. So we will give you the opportunity to at least give you that and to provide that information. Yeah. Kanika, could there be like a third option for students who start their first semester online to then switch to the physical taking the courses in case travel becomes possible between August and December? Kanika, is not an easy one, yeah, because you have to keep in mind that classes are organized according a certain timeline, and that if they are organized according a certain timeline, that it's not so easy just to put in students in a later phase. Yeah, I think so. For the moment, our option is rather, okay, people go for the online alternative, yeah, which finishes in December, and then join the normal. It's not also the online version will be kind of, we consider it as a normal situation, but then the physical, if they want to join the physical classes, yeah, that this is then happening actually as soon as possible, yeah. So, and especially from the start of the semester onwards. However, I think it's a guess as well, because right now we actually don't know how the situation will look like in September, and we don't have a timeline yet even for the different courses. So in case we organize for the online courses, yeah, and timelines allow to kind of to make that connection, yeah, then potentially there might be an option for you to still do this, yeah. But right now it's for me also very difficult to say yes or no. So if you would opt for the online semester, for the moment it would be that it's until December that you have to follow that online semester, and that in case there would be options, potentially this could still be true. But we will keep you updated on that as well, and we also take up that thought also in our discussions when we decide on the timelines. Yeah. I don't see burning questions coming in. All right, thank you, Kanika. If there's no more really important elements right now, I think we can then close this first webinar. What I think from now on, important for you is that you consider yourself, and we consider you as also as really a member of this program. So it means from now on, via regular webinars, for example, or via emails, we will give you updates as well. Yeah. There's another question. I am currently looking for a flat in Italy for the first semester. It's hard to find local help at the university. Is there a central possibility of IMBRSea to help with the apartment search? Yeah. We have to, and then normally every university, and that's also what we asked them to do, is from now on to get in touch with you as well. And every university has some housing services available, and through these housing services you will be provided by help as well. So also, for example, if just to link to the question, then the follow-up question, yeah, IMBA students get priority in the Ghent University housing, indeed. And so that's indeed the case, that via you will get an offer, yeah, via Ghent University housing. So that's true. So that's every university will get in touch with you. Don't worry on that, and we'll also provide you with the support mechanisms that there are. There's no central possibility, yeah, because for us in Ghent, let's say in the coordination office, yeah, which we see more as a kind of a floating virtual office right now, we simply don't have the means to know what availability there is on the housing market in all the different universities. Yeah, there we really rely then on the local coordinators, that they help students in order to find places. Other alternatives is that you use social media, that you get in touch with current students, for example, that were there, and ask for some input on that. And I know that in the past this worked quite well. But I think it's also important, let's say, at least also in the coming weeks, for example, if this would remain a problem for certain universities, that we are made aware of that, yeah, and that we can at least also get in touch with the different local coordinators. Yeah. Good. So with no more questions, I hope this was an informative webinar for you, that you learned something new. And I think for us as a program, the most important element is also that we hope that by investing in this online alternative, yeah, we kind of showed you also that IMBRSea is not just a program like many other programs, that we really want to accommodate for an international and really diverse group of people, for example. And that we just want to make sure that despite the current situation that is happening in the world, which we never had before, yeah, that you're still able to follow your program, and that you're still able to get to your diploma within 2 years' time, because that's for us as one of the major tasks in our consortium, in our program, is that we want to try to make sure that students from anywhere they come in the world to achieve this IMBRSea experience, which has an important intercultural and international component in it, yeah, within the foreseen time frame. And so I hope that with this first webinar we could show you the kind of directions our program is taking in that. And I hope that this convinces you, despite the strange situation that we are in, to continue in our master program as well. Okay. Good, have a nice day, and maybe see you back this evening if you want to re-watch the alternative version of this webinar. Feel free to join in. More information, because I just look also at the additional question that came in from the different partner universities, is that we asked them to get in touch as soon as possible with you on the practicalities of the semester. So I think you can expect this. I would say within the next 10 days, there will be emails going out. Note that some of the emails go out also from international offices, yeah, and that there might be a bit of delays in how things are interconnected. Yeah, good. Thank you very much, and yeah, see you later for next webinars, and hopefully in September for you, some of you at least live, and if not live, for sure through a whole range of online engaging activities. Bye-bye.